Today we're talking about your Illinois driver's license and what the heck does it mean if it is suspended, it is revoked, it is disqualified. These are all sort of different types of statuses and they mean different things. So what I'm going to do in this video is explain what they all are and how they apply to an Illinois driver's license. Hi, I'm attorney Derek Martin. Our law firm, Driver Defense Team in Chicago, in the Chicago suburbs, handles almost exclusively driving-related issues. So what I'm going to do today is explain three common terms to you. Those are a suspension, a revocation, and a disqualification. Your license can be any one of those three. It can even actually be multiple, I guess, technically. So let's go through these three different things and clear up any confusion. So first is a suspension. It's probably the most common one, right? And so somebody gets suspended, you can kind of guess what this is. Like, you don't have a valid driver's license. But the distinctive thing here is that it is for a set period of time. So if you're suspended, it can be for 3 months, it can be for 6 months, 12 months, it can be for 3 years. But it is set to come back at the end of that term. In other words, you probably just need to pay your reinstatement fee because, yes, the Secretary of State does charge you a fee. But as long as you pay that reinstatement fee sometime before that date, then your license is back. It's valid. It's no longer suspended. You don't have to do anything extra because that suspension was for a defined period of time. Compare that to a revocation. A revocation also means that you don't have a valid driver's license and you're not permitted to drive. But a revocation is a bit more serious because it means your license is gone. They've taken it and it's not coming back. So unlike a suspension, there is no defined period of time. It is for an indefinite period of time. Now, I'm not going to use the term permanent because it's not necessarily permanent. You can petition the Illinois Secretary of State and you have to have a hearing with them, some sort of hearing. That can be an informal hearing, a formal hearing, an out-of-state hearing, depending on your circumstances. But you do have to have some form of a hearing, and it has to be a successful hearing, right? They have to actually say, like, yes, they'll give it back to you if you've been revoked. So suspension, you pay the reinstatement fee, it comes back at the end. Revocation, it's gone. It is upon you to make the effort and petition the Secretary of State to successfully get it back. That is a much, much harder thing to do. People can stay revoked for certainly years and even decades, right? I've had people who have been revoked for 40 years. It can be a difficult process. Not impossible, but it can be a difficult process if you are revoked. How do you get revoked? Well, most commonly, it is because you were convicted of a DUI. Doesn't matter if it's your first one, your second, third, fourth, 10th. If you are at any point in time convicted of a DUI, then your license, at least here in Illinois, your license is revoked. There are other ways, right? Committing a felony, in a motor vehicle, and there's a number of other ways. You can just really have a bad record of traffic tickets and even be revoked. But the point is, you no longer have a license. The third one I referenced was a disqualification. Now, this only applies to commercial driver's license, CDLs. So if you don't have a CDL, don't worry about it. But if you do have a CDL and it gets suspended, right, it becomes invalid for a period of time. The actual technical term for that is a disqualification. So say, for example, you have a CDL and you got a DUI, even in your personal vehicle. You may be facing a disqualification for 6 months, 12 months, whatever. Too many traffic tickets, convictions on your record, whether they're in your personal vehicle or not, can trigger a disqualification of your CDL for 3 months, 6 months, even longer. So disqualification only applies to CDL. whereas the suspension and the revocation apply to your normal regular driver's license. So that at least explains what they are. So you can use the right term, you can understand sort of what the status is of your driver's license. If you're told it is suspended, it is revoked, now at least you know what that means. What we didn't talk about in too much detail is how they get suspended, revoked, or disqualified. I gave a couple simple examples, but really there are a million different ways, right? Having a bad record, DUI is a very common one, a bunch of different ways to get your license into one of those statuses, which is of course what you want to avoid. And so how do you avoid it? Well, if you're confident and you think you can handle this yourself, by all means, go ahead. Otherwise, you may want to consider speaking with an attorney who knows what the heck they're talking about when it comes to these traffic tickets and the effect upon your driver's license. If you happen to be in the Chicagoland area and you want to talk about it, of course, give our office a call. We're happy to provide you a consultation and talk through this. Either way, I hope I gave you a little bit of information that you didn't know a few minutes ago, and I wish you the best of luck with your license if you happen to be in this situation. Thanks for watching.